Hey everyone, it's Tony George from DocSports.com. Let me get the microphone up here. We're talking national title. We're talking the side play lean only. It's a free play. In the national title game tonight, I have a 5-unit strong top pick opinion on the total over at the website. Free $60. Link in the description below. Click over to Docs. Never been a member. We'll give you $60. Use it on anything, college basketball, any sport. We'll talk about what's going on the website in a minute. We're going to get right to the free pick and the free prop plays. A couple of prop plays I like. Okay? And the NFL now is set. Playoffs are here. We're going to talk about that. The Docs Gridiron Six-Pack Show, which was a huge success. Thousands of you tuned in weekly to me and Griff Murphy, is no more. Now that the playoffs are here and college football is over. However, we're going to do a basketball podcast every Friday. We're going to name that podcast based on viewer comments, ask them for their, and we're going to announce that on Wednesday on a separate podcast, not on this channel. That podcast will be on Twitter or Facebook, live and then archived. My Twitter's at TGeorgeSports. My Facebook page, just type in Tony George Sports. I got a group page over there. And we're going to give you a raw, candid, and unfiltered viewpoints of our thoughts going into this NFL wildcard weekend. And probably a couple free picks on it. And we're not bound by, on that podcast, we're not bound by the family entertainment rules that YouTube has. You can figure out the math. But that'll be at 1 o'clock on Wednesday, live, Pacific time. And then archived there so you can watch it anytime. FYI. And we'll start in with the Hoop Show with some picks and a little different slant, more of a podcast than a total free pick show. But there'll be free picks on it, getting geared up for every college basketball weekend and some NBA as well. Okay, let's get to this game tonight. Now, in my opinion, I think there's value in the total. I think there's some value in Blake Corum having over 103 rushing yards tonight for Michigan. Jim Harbaugh is personally very hard to figure out, kind of an odd duck. But as a football coach, he's not hard to figure out. He's old school ball coach. Run the ball, play good defense. Period. Period. Did it at Stanford. He's doing it here. Did it in the NFL. They're going to see a lot of Blake Corum. As a matter of fact, if you take a look, there's the last 5 times that he played ranked opponents. McCarthy at quarterback or another quarterback, they've thrown as little as 9 times in those games. 9 times total. What's he doing? He's running the football. He's going to run the football. He believes in winning the game on the line of scrimmage. I like him over the 103.5 yard rushing yards tonight. Corum's going to have a good night. Also, there's a prop out there. Largest lead in the game, over under 17.5 points for minus 135 on the under. Take the under. So, in my opinion, this is a coin flip ball game. Others may have different opinions. They could have game of the year on it for all I know. I don't care what those guys do over there. I don't care what anybody does anywhere. I don't care what you're listening to, on what podcast you're listening to. I've been doing this 32 years. I'm telling you, the 2 best teams in football are playing. Asterisk Georgia. Okay? Let's talk about it. Washington plus 5 is my opinion. Under DeBoer, the last 5 times they were an underdog. They not only covered the spread in all 5 of those games, they won straight up. Including being a 9-point underdog against Oregon in the Pac-12 title game. Destroyed them. Matter of fact, Oregon is one of the top 6 teams in the country. Bar none. Nick's one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Better quarterback than McCarthy. They beat him twice this year. They played a tougher schedule. One of the strengths of Michigan's team is their defensive line. You saw that on display against Alabama. Alabama was not the best team in the SEC. I don't put a lot of stock in that win against Alabama, honestly. Alabama got lucky 3 or 4 times this year in games. Auburn, Arkansas should have beat them. South Florida gave them all they wanted. Texas beat them by double digits. Texas A&M. You can go down the list of games that they struggled in. This was not Alabama's best team. They put it together, and Saban out-coached Kirby Smart in the SEC title game to get there. And what should have happened was Alabama should have never moved up 4 spots to get to the 4th place there. Georgia should have been dropped 3 spots and been number 4. Then Georgia would have been in this ball game. But that being said, I think the path for Washington, the overall body of work is more impressive. Secondly, while that defensive line is strong, Washington's offensive line is an award-winning offensive line, voted best offensive line in college football. Thirdly, whenever you're in a big game like this, when you're in a Super Bowl or a national title game, or even the NBA Finals, the best players, right? The cream rises to the top. But we're looking at quarterbacks here. And when you judge quarterbacks, there's no doubt that Penix is the best quarterback in the game. Period. Not even an argument. But outside of that quarterback, what you grade is talent surrounding his skill positions. Now, I know that Washington's running back, Johnson, is going to suit up, but he's not 100%. That being said, that's not the crux of their offense. The crux of their offense is Penix chucking the rock. And he's surrounded by elite talent in that category. McCarthy, outside of Corum, is not surrounded by elite talent. Therefore, I'll take the points. I'll take the 5. Money line, if you like Washington to win straight up, let me see a live line here. I'll pull up the money line for you. Plus 160, plus 180 now. Since the line jumped to 5, it went up to plus 180. You could sprinkle money line, but I definitely think that Washington is up to the challenge. I think it's going to be one hell of a football game. As a matter of fact, would it surprise me if Washington won by a touchdown? No. Would it surprise me if Michigan won by a touchdown? No. For that reason, I don't think there's any value in the number, at least in laying it. But if I think a team can beat another team straight up and they're getting 5 points, I'm probably going to lean that way. That's exactly where I'm leaning. This is not something I'm betting Grandma's farm on. It's going to be that good of a football game. Strategic, 2 really good coaches, 2 really good football teams, 2 really good quarterbacks, 1 an elite quarterback that's going to be starting on Sundays next year. At day's end, I'll take the points. Over at the website, we have a 5-unit top play on the totals play in this game. We also have a doubleheader in college basketball. We have a 4-unit NBA player prop. We're passing in the NBA, which we're on a monster roll in the NBA. And we're on a solid roll in the NHL as well. We're passing in both of those today. Back at you on Tuesday. Good luck. Enjoy the game tonight.